Hi, how are you doing, Professor? So, as you can see here, this is the work that I made for my final vaccine delivery project. And as you can see in my laptop, this is the code that I made for my microbit. This is the code that I made for my, I believe, if the receiver microbit. Yes, exactly. This is the code that I made for my receiver microbit. And this is the code that I made for my remote microbit. So the responsibility of the remote microbit is to collect the data, the temperature data around its area, and then the responsibility of the receiver microbit is to receive the data that the remote microbit collected, and then I also made some modification to my code. So what I'm going to tell you is the modification that I made for my code. So um, I want I want them to have uh, interaction and or feedback. Like let's say that the person that is receiving the vaccine, and we are going to put this the remote microbit into the vaccine delivery box, and then the person who is receiving the vaccine, he can see the temperature, and then as you can see the temperature is 22. Or let's say that the person who is receiving the vaccine, he or she is not sure about is still usable or unusable because he's not he doesn't or she doesn't know that if the vaccine is well preserved. So he might want to give me some feedback. So he can also, so the modification that I did to my microbit is I made so every time, so there's an A button and B button here. There's also an A button and a B button, as you can see. So the modification that I did was every time when you press when you press the B button, there will be a cross showing to um, the corresponding microbit. Like let's say if you click the B button of the receiver microbit and then there will be an X cross. I mean, there will be a cross showing to this microbit. If I press the A button of the receiver microbit, then there will be a check mark showing in this remote microbit. Now, let's say that I am the person who is receiving the vaccine, and I'm not sure about the temperature, and I'm not sure if this well preserved or not. So I want to give the person who is responsible to the vaccine a feedback. So I want to give him a feedback. So I will so I can do that by clicking the B button. So when I click the B button, there will be a cross sign showing in the receiver microbit. So I'm going to go ahead and click the B button, and as you can see, there will be an X button. I mean the X. There will be an X sign showing in this microbit. So if every time if I'm so the person who is responsible to the vaccine, every time when he see the X sign, he can go to check the temperature in his laptop to see if the vaccine is well preserved. So he can go to his code, and then um, he show data device, and then he can read the data and tell if the vaccine is well preserved. And if the vaccine is well preserved, then he can feedback to the person who's receiving the vaccine by clicking the A button. So it will show a check mark here. So the person who is receiving the vaccine received the feedbacks, and he will think, oh, it's good. He give me the feedback, and he say the vaccine is usable, and then uh, I can the person who is receiving the vaccine can also give the person feedback. So he can also click the button A to give the person a feedback. So that's how they can interact with each other by clicking these two buttons, and then giving each other feedback. So this is the project I made, and yeah, so you can click the B button, and then it will show you a cross, and then if you click a button of the receiver microbit, it will show a check mark, and then if you click the B button of the remote microbit, it will show a check mark, a cross sign here. And if you press the A button of the remote microbit, it will show you another check mark in the receive microbit. So that's the function that the modification that I made for my project, and I hope that it helps because it is how they can feedback to each other. Thanks.